Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire. Alright, so Blue Sapphire is from the House of Lattafa. It's from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this bad boy up for about $35, $40 at various discounters. I'll have some links down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Presentation on this, a pretty straightforward cardboard box. Nice kind of clean design on there with the name and the fragrance. A little bit of the Lattafa shimmery silver on the top, all the necessaries on the back, but overall just a plain old cardboard box. The actual box presentation with the bottle in here is quite nice. It is a nice thick cardboard on there, all the necessaries on the back as well, and it does open up like so to reveal our bottle that's on the inside. So nice box presentation for this. The Lattafa Pride line series usually does a pretty good job of their box presentations, and this is no exception. Bottle on this, pretty straightforward rectangular bottle on this, but it does have these interesting kind of blue sapphire style of gems that are sitting up front in a nice metal. That's not a cheapy plastic, that is an actual metal, and it does have a nice thick base to it. Cap on this is a heavy metal cap to this as well, so there's no cheapy plastics that's going on in there. And the atomizer on this is a nice atomizer, good distribution, good puffs off of this one. So overall for $35, $40 presentation, very well done. So if you were wondering what Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire smells like, you've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are a mint, lemon, apple, marine notes, clary sage, geranium, patchouli, and cedar. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, you get that fresh, bright, clean style of mint with that lemon. And it's a really nice aromatics that come through. So this fresh spicy mint is very forward. You're definitely getting that mint. You get that hint of that zesty style of lemon that comes through, and the aromatics in the mid add just a little bit of sweetness from that clary sage, and you get a little bit of spice that kind of plays with that fresh mint very well with that geranium that comes through. You also get a little bit of that cedar that comes in from the base. So it has this light, airy, fresh spicy wood. Again, it kind of fuses with that mint very well. Beautiful opening on this, very aromatic, has that uplifting, bright sort of feel. There is some sweetness coming from that apple, but it's not a main player in this. It's not an overly fruity sweetness style of note that comes through, but it is there, and it kind of plays nice with that clary sage. As you get to the mid, the marine notes add a little bit of character to this. They're not a very forward note in this. They add a little bit of wateriness to this, but this is not like an aquatic marine style of fragrance. Just a little bit of a personality to those. What you're really getting is those aromatics, that fresh mint that comes through, and a little bit of cedar from that base. Overall, this is basically like a twist of that Versace Eros DNA. That mint, that little bit of sweetness that comes through, those aromatics. This is a little bit more of an aromatic twist of the Versace Eros. Somewhere in the neighborhood of the eau de parfum, eau de toilette. It's kind of a mix of those two, but with its own little character, with that marine, with the added aromatics to this. This is just a beautiful twist interpretation of that Versace Eros. Not your typical kind of bubblegummy sweet, club banger, youthful kind of kid sort of Eros. This is a little bit more mature. This does have that kind of more gentlemanly, but still a playful sort of vibe going on to it. It's just absolutely great twist on that Versace Eros style of DNA. In the dry down, you do get a little bit more sweetness that's coming through, so you do get that Versace Eros style of sweetness comes through, but those aromatics stick around. That mint that's still there still adds to that scent profile, and overall, this is just a beautiful interpretation, like I've said already, of that Versace Eros DNA, and I'm really enjoying this one. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire, I get about average performance off this, about 6 hours off of my skin, and the projection's pretty good for about an hour and a half before it does settle back in. So it's not a monster performer, it's not a beast mode fragrance by any means, but you're definitely gonna get some decent longevity off this. People are gonna smell you. Very nice scent bubble on this. The sillage on this is pretty good as well. Get some on your clothing though, you're definitely gonna get that into the next day. This does fairly well on fabric, I've found. So overall, performance, like I said, average, maybe a little bit above average, but pretty good overall. So when it comes to the where and when I think Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire would be most appropriate, definitely think this is a casual style of fragrance, but it does have that clubbing sort of vibe going on to it. Definitely a date night style of fragrance. But like I said, it's not that overly bubblegummy sweet, very, very youthful style of Versace Eros DNA. This does have a little bit of maturity to it, and I think this is good for all age ranges, like whether you're a young guy, an old guy, I think you can pull this off with those added aromatics that are in there, that mint that comes forward more than the actual bubblegummy style of sweetness, which is there, but it's not as prominent as the Versace Arrows, I find. And I find you can get away with a lot of casual occasions as well as those date nights. In terms of seasons, I think this is pretty versatile year round. I think this would shine most in the fall and the spring. But summertime, you can definitely wear this because it has that aromatics, that bit of citrus that's in there, and it's not too overly sweet. You can definitely pull this off in the summer. The really high heat, you might be pushing it a little bit, but I don't think you're gonna have too many problems. And in the wintertime, I still think it's appropriate. I just don't know if this would push through the cold as much because of those aromatics and that citrus that's in there. I don't think it could fight its way through a really cold day, but spring and fall for sure. Summertime, I think you can get away with it. Overall, pretty versatile. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire is I really enjoy this fragrance. I wasn't a huge fan of the original Versace Arrows. I found it just a little bit too sweet, a little bit too youthful, more of the club banging kind of young guy sort of fragrance. But I find this one is a nice way to bridge that gap. I know the Eau de Parfum has a little bit more of an aromatic touch to it, and so I think it's somewhere in the middle of that, but it has its own character to it. And I really enjoy how Lattafa took their own spin on this fragrance. The aromatics in this are absolutely beautiful. I love that fresh cleanness that comes through. The cedar that's in here gives it that masculine base, and I do enjoy just that kind of fresh, spicy, airy wood that comes through with that. And like I said a million times probably already, that mint that comes through in this is just beautiful. It is a very forward mint note that comes through that plays with those aromatics really nice, and it's just the right level of sweetness that still makes this fun, flirty, playful, but it has a bit of a maturity to it, but not so mature that the young guys can't wear it, and not overly mature that you're gonna smell like an old man. Great way to bridge the gap, a great alternative to the Versace Arrows, and I am quite pleased with this. Performance, like I said, pretty average. I'm not too disappointed nor too thrilled with that one, and I think this is just a great versatile fragrance for a number of different occasions and seasons. Very happy with this one for $35, $40. I definitely think this was worth the pickup, and I am quite pleased with this one, so I think it's definitely worth checking out. That's Lattafa Pride's Blue Sapphire. And I want to hear from you guys. What's another Lattafa Pride that I haven't covered yet that you want to see me do a review on? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.